Hey guys, I am so excited because today I'm doing another foundation first impressions. I know, and don't mind this colorful look. I'm still doing the 10 days of color, but I'm doing a first impressions on the Mineral Air foundation. It looks like this. It is a airbrush foundation, and I'm super excited to be doing a full first impressions on this for you guys. So first off, before we get into that, I am doing 10 days of color on my Instagram. That's why my makeup is really colorful today, monochromatic lavender, purple shades. But basically on my Instagram, I'm doing 10 days of color where every day I do a new colorful makeup look, kind of to welcome spring, just a fun series on there. And so, yeah, that's what's going on. You definitely want to go follow me there and go check those pictures out, but also you want to follow me because anytime that I do first impressions on foundations or any first impressions, I will do them live and check-ins in my story on Instagram and Snapchat. And I'll show you it, I'll show you up close, I'll show you out in the sun, so you kind of get a sneak peek on what's going on Snapchat and Instagram. So definitely you want to follow me there. It's just Bondbeautyful everywhere. But yeah, so this product was sent to me by the lovely people at Mineral Air. Thank you so much. And I was just so blown away and excited because I don't know about you guys, but I remember like 5, 6, 7 years ago when I was in high school watching YouTubers use airbrush foundation, and they were like the big systems, like the big systems with, you know, the pen looking thing that you use, and it was like heavy duty, like it wouldn't move, it wouldn't go anywhere with you. Not to mention it costs like $300, $400 for the system, and then you just have to keep purchasing the foundation. And so when I kind of saw this, I was super curious and interesting because it's super portable, of course. You know, nowadays everything's super convenient, and this is incredibly convenient. So I'm going to show you really quickly. I know I showed you earlier, but I'm going to show you compared to my Lancome foundation. This isn't a super huge bottle. It's a little bit thicker, but it's pretty easy to put in your bag and to travel with, and you just charge it in the back. So this is the box that it comes in, and in there sits your Mineral Air little foundation in there, and then underneath comes like instruction pack, comes your charger, all of that fun jazz. And then the foundation itself looks like this. It's 0.33 fluid ounces, 10 milliliters. Typically in a foundation it's 1.1 fluid ounce, but this is a mineral foundation. It's going to disperse it really, really lightly. So this is going to last, they say these last about a month or maybe a little bit over if you use it every single day, depending on how much you use it or how like full of coverage you use. So they basically say to shake this up and then you add it to the top of the bottle. So you take off the top here. I'll show you guys really quickly. You can break it apart so it's easier to travel if you so choose. Also the sprayer's up here. And then you add the drops to the very top and you close it and it seals closed. So it's really nice and convenient that it's pretty compact and durable and nice, and you don't really have to clean it much. Everything comes in the instructional package. The shade I got was medium, and it actually fits me really, really well. I always, listen up guys, I always list all my foundation shade matches down below in the description box. I have a big list of high-end drugstore foundations that I put down below anytime that I find a good match. I'll put it down below. Trying to match using me, I like medium. Medium fits me well. Go check out the description box. So I'm gonna go over what the company claims, and this company really claims like barely anything. I'll go over that, I'll go over the price, and I'm also going to go over kind of what kind of skin I have, just in case you're kind of using me as a reference. So I have normal to dry skin. It's not super dry. I don't really get like dry patches every once in a while, especially if I'm having like breakouts or like if I'm healing. My blemishes and like my scabs will be they'll be really dry. I have normal skin. I don't really get oily, but I live in Arizona, so going out in this heat, it gets hot, and so foundations will break up. I will get shiny like in this area right here, just from the heat, the incredible heat. I went onto the website that I will link off down below for you guys if you are interested. And I'm gonna read some of the claims. So this is called the Mineral Air Touchless 3-Piece Collection. Okay, so you can go get this whole system, this with the foundation, with the charger for $124. There was a sale for $99, but I don't think it's gonna still be up when this video is up. So definitely check out sales because they do have sales. But then after that, each of these by themselves cost $24. You can get bronzer, you can get a blush, or just the foundations. They all cost $24, which is pretty good. They only have 7 different colors, and this is what they basically say. So they say, enjoy a buildable, perfectly blended application in seconds with the Mineral Air Touchless Applicator, plus a free 30-day supply of our 4-in-1 foundation for a sheer to full coverage, so airlight and breathable, you'll feel like you're not wearing makeup. Your touchless 3-piece collection comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee if you are not satisfied for any reason, and you are within the 30-day money-back guarantee time frame. Just contact customer service for return instructions for a refund of the product price. If you order today, you will also receive a 100% color match guarantee. Just choose from one of our 7 shades and we'll guarantee your satisfaction. So you guys know here on my channel, I love using drugstore products, and $124 does sound like a lot, but if you're thinking about it's an airbrush foundation, they used to cost like $300, $400. Now it's super compact. You're getting the whole system for $124 plus some foundation, and then just to repurchase a foundation is going to be $24. It's pretty inexpensive. It's definitely not drugstore, but for the claims, if they are true, I think it would be totally worth it. That's my opinion, because I want something that looks really flawless and skin-like, and especially if you don't want people to, if you don't want to be able to tell that you have makeup on, you want something quick, like moms, this is awesome. Like there's no brush needed, like it just, everything comes in one. Really excited. I hope you guys enjoy. Give me a big ol' fat like if you like first impressions, and let's get straight on into it. Good morning. Today, as you probably saw in the intro, we're doing a first impressions, and I'm so incredibly excited because it's a airbrush foundation. So this is the shade that I have. It's medium. I'm gonna shake it up and add it to this really quickly, and then yeah, I'll show you how that kind of works. And we're gonna try this baby out. Okay, so I just applied the drops in here. You guys kind of saw me do that, and now we can take the top off and we can go ahead and start to use it. Also, there's like a little instruction for you in that comes with it, and an actual instruction book on how you should go about applying it. And they basically say you start on your cheek, kind of go around in circles to your other cheek, around up here on your forehead, and then last your nose area. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and then just using circular motions 3 to 4 inches away from my face. Today I thought I would add the NYX Angel Veil. Let's see how it works with a primer. It doesn't really say to use a primer. This one's oil free, so I thought that I would use this one, and yeah, because I use a primer every day. I don't know if maybe you don't even need a primer. I'm not sure, but I'm going to add it to kind of smooth out my skin. All right, here we go. It just feels like I'm blowing air. Okay, so I feel like in person it's hard to tell if it did anything because it pretty much just looks like my skin, but when you compare it to this side, I can totally tell it evened out my skin and it covered some of these spots that I have, like right here, but it looks so much like skin. So I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna try not to do it too thick. My skin definitely looks better, but you can still see like this side needs some help for sure. I do think that my face looks a lot better, but it does look like skin, so it's almost hard to tell like if anything's on my face. It just like all of a sudden magically perfected my skin. So I'm gonna move up to my forehead. I was worried that this was gonna be hard to control and that was gonna get everywhere, like on my little things and my shirt, but it's actually super easy to control. So it's super interesting. And let's do my nose. And I don't want to do too much because... Okay, so there we go. What do you guys think? It kind of has like a, I would say medium coverage, but it looks like my skin. Like it doesn't look glowy, it doesn't look matte, it looks like my skin. So I like that it's like a small little thing of air, so it doesn't project everywhere. It's like very precise where you put it, so I really like that about it. I actually love that it does look like my skin. Like I can't tell that I'm wearing foundation, except that everything magically got perfected like in front of my eyes. Like I couldn't see like this, like it dispersing the product, like it just felt like air. Also, I like that it's not too loud. Like it has a light hum, but it's not anything that's too loud, that's annoying. It doesn't vibrate or anything like that. And also, this is pretty quick. I mean, this is pretty quick for not having to do much, but just like press a button. This is actually really nice. So I really enjoyed that. Like I said, maybe you can get to full coverage. I'll try to me it's medium coverage. I'll try to get closer to this guy and see if it'll cover him up. Interesting. It has like an interesting, like super light texture. So I kind of went in closer and it kind of dispersed the product, and then I kind of tapped it in to give me a tiny bit more coverage, and it did give me a little bit more coverage. I don't know if it's going to break apart easier right there or not. But yes, I don't know how concealer is going to layer on top of this. So I guess we're going to have to try it and see if concealer layers pretty nicely on top of it. I'm gonna go in with this concealer. I guess I'll show you guys. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. We'll just put that on top of my dark under eye circles. I didn't really focus the product underneath my eyes all that much, but we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, I can totally tell a difference between like this kind of cream product. Like I can tell there's something on my skin, but everywhere else it looks so skin-like you can't even tell. I think I missed a spot right here. Let me go back in real quick. I think I missed that spot. Yeah, that's better. It's a little thin spot. But I can tell like this is definitely, even that concealer is heavier than this product itself. I'm just gonna set my under eye concealer with the Laura Mercier powder in translucent, but we're not gonna set the rest of my face because it feels like I don't have anything on. Like I'm not kidding. Like I thought other foundations looked more natural and felt like skin. This is probably the most skin-like foundation I have ever tried, where it looks like skin and it feels like I don't feel like I have anything on. Like it's completely dry, smushed into the skin. Like, so I know right here you can tell I have product that's kind of from the concealer, but like it looks like skin. I love that. So that's how it looks so far. So I'm gonna finish my makeup and then I'll be back. Okay, so I finished the rest of my makeup and I'll quickly go through and tell you guys what I put on so you kind of know. I didn't powder my face. The only thing I did was powder my under eye circles or my concealer for my under eye circles that I did. For bronzer, I used the Too Faced Little Black Book, and I used Milk Chocolate Soleil mixed with Chocolate Soleil mixed with Pink Leopard down here. So I mixed a couple of these to get kind of a little bit of a contour bronze type of thing, really light. I decided to do a monochromatic like purple look for my 10 Days of Color. So I used the e.l.f. blush in Berry Mary, one of my favorite berry blushes of all times. I used this to highlight. I used the Moonchild palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I used this purple shade right here called Purple Horse, really beautiful. That's my highlight. And like on my nose, on my eyes, I used a bunch of the Itsy shadows. And last for the lips, I used 2 of the BH Cosmetic liquid lipsticks. I love these anytime I'm gonna do like a lavender type of lip. So this is Muse, which is a very cool tone nude, and then Daisy, which is a beautiful lavender shade. And then right on the bottom of the lower lip, what's giving me that cooler lavender is the Color Icon lip gloss in Lilac Theater. It's one of my first impression thoughts so far is I love this. I love this so much. It looks so much like skin, even though it's not like full coverage. It gives me enough coverage, and if I like focus it on certain areas, it gives me enough coverage, but I don't have to powder it. Like, it feels like skin. Like, it doesn't need to be set. It doesn't have an overly matte finish. It doesn't have a dewy finish. It just looks so skin-like. This is probably the most skin-like foundation I own, where it feels and looks like my skin. Like, it literally looked like my skin just soaked up the pigment, and it just like evened out my whole face, and I love it. I think medium is a pretty good shade match for me. I'll put any of my other shade matches down below in the description box. I always do that. You can kind of see it looks super perfected. My face looks super perfected with all of the powders on top. I feel like even though at first it gave me more medium coverage, when you're putting other powders on top, blush, bronzer, it kind of takes away from those areas, and so it makes the appearance of a full coverage, like flawless skin. So I am absolutely loving it right now. And I really like that the powders blended over top so beautifully. Like, the powders went on seamless on top of this. Like, it was so easy to blend. And even with the powders on top, sometimes with foundation and then powder on top, it can look cakey. It doesn't look cakey at all. It doesn't look like too much at all. It still looks really, really beautiful. So this is where we're at right now. It is 9:07 in the morning, so I am going to be checking up with you guys every couple of hours, probably 5 hours, 8 hours on the end of the night, as well as live on Instagram. So you should be following me on Instagram if you're curious and want to have sneak peeks of these type of videos. You need to follow me there. But yeah, so I will check back with you guys soon. Okay, so I'm back. It's 2:30. It's been 5.5 hours, and I feel like every time I come back to check in, I look torn up. Like, my hair is always messy. I just look torn up. But anywho, let's check this out. I haven't looked at my makeup this whole time. I'm surprised that my lipstick is still on and my blush and everything. Like, okay, so now that I inspected very closely, I think that I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed with the foundation so far. It's been 5.5 hours, and I've been outside for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours of that time, filming Monday's video and like taking pictures for day 7 and like doing a lot of things outside. Surprisingly, the weather's actually really nice. Like, in the shade, it's like windy and like, ooh, it feels nice outside, and it's like 2:30. And so with that said though, it's not really breaking apart. The only place that I can kind of start seeing where it's actually starting to look like, okay, I have some foundation on, is just right around my nose, like in that little area. I'll bring you in a second. But everywhere else, like, it just looks like skin, like flawless. The only place that looks like makeup, or you can tell you have product on, is wherever I have makeup. So like my blush, my highlight, my bronzer. My face overall looks like skin. And so my problem areas, if you haven't been watching my videos, I have this crease here from doing this little crease right here. Let's just bring you guys in real quick. From doing this right here, I have a little crease right here that is my problem area, and product will seep in there, and sometimes my crease looks 10 times bigger. Like, it looks humongous. As well as these creases right here, because I have lots of expressions and I'm very animated when I talk. Those are my problem areas. Typically that's where it starts to crease, but surprisingly, It looks good. It looks like my skin. It doesn't accentuate any of those lines, and it just looks nice. Only like right here in the very middle, like the inner part, and like right here on the sides of my noses, is it starting to look like foundation. I'm gonna try to kind of, when that happens, like it starts to break apart, I just kind of press it in and see if it like rejuvenates it. I'm gonna do that in a second. I just really want you guys to get to see it first. But here's kind of how my foundation looks like as a whole. Like it looks like skin. Like it looks like I just have like my regular makeup on, but no face makeup on. And it's not breaking apart where I put concealer or powder either, just so you guys know. Okay. Okay, so like this little line usually is super accentuated, you guys know. It doesn't look like anything. And then these lines right here, usually product kind of seeps in there where it hasn't. Like how it's just kind of accumulating, and also like right here, it's kind of like starting to come apart. So I'm just gonna press it in. But for 5.5 hours, I'm super impressed, especially when I've been outside. So far, I'm loving it. Okay, so it is, what time is it? It's 5:41. So it's been about 8 hours now. And I have been doing just daily stuff. So I filmed 2 videos today, edited, was outside for a while, cleaned, did all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look and see what my foundation looks like after doing all that kind of stuff. I didn't think it was possible for the foundation to all of a sudden look better than the 5-hour check-in. Like, remember when I told you that over here it was starting to break apart, it looked like the foundation was breaking down, and then right here, and then I kind of pressed it in and I felt like, ooh, it looks the same. Well, I think pressing it in did something, because it doesn't necessarily look better, or sorry, it doesn't look like it looked when I tried to press it in. It looks a little bit better, and it's also starting to turn into, like, it's trying to turn glowy, but it doesn't look oily, it doesn't look cakey, like it still looks flawless. Right here though, it really blended back into the skin. I definitely can tell though where I put the concealer, I did kind of start to crease a little bit. This is how the foundation, ooh, my eyebrows do not look crispy though. This is how my foundation looks after 8 hours, and surprisingly, even the makeup on top of it, like usually blushes, especially e.l.f. blushes, they fade, and the highlight tends to fade really quickly with other foundations. This one I feel like it's really clinging onto those products a lot better than any of my other foundations. So you can see, like, even here, remember how terrible it was? It's still really good coverage. I'm not losing coverage. I'm just getting a little bit more glowy. So you can see, like, here, you can see like my forehead, like it's not so natural, but it still looks skin-like. So can you see around my nose, like it's getting glowy, but the product is not breaking apart, or like right here, it's not breaking apart like it was. But yeah, so far so good. I'll check in at the final time at the very end of the night. So yeah. Okay, so it is 9 o'clock. It's time for my last check-in. I'm laughing because the boys are trying to fall asleep, but they're being loud, and so, you know, they got in trouble, and then they start crying because, you know, mom, you know. And my husband has to go back over there, and they need to get in trouble again. And I'm just sitting here with the camera on, just waiting for them to be done. That's why I'm laughing. Anyways, so it's 9 o'clock. It's the last check-in because I'm awfully tired. And so it's been 12 hours with this foundation, and surprisingly, I love it. I love this foundation. It's not even surprising. It's no dirt. I love it because it's awesome. You guys, I don't think I've tried a foundation quite like this. Liquid foundations, cream foundations, powder foundations, they're totally different than an air brush foundation. Now I haven't tried other airbrush foundations. I don't know if they're all like this, but they're totally different. The texture is totally different. In the bottle, like some of it leaked out and it's super watery. Like I think it's higher pigment is what it is. They put higher pigment and then they disperse it lightly to give you that coverage. But it just feels different. It looks different. All the products go on top of it different. I've never had my blush last as long as it has. I mean, in the viewfinder, it looks like I still have blush. Like I would be fine going about my day like this. Like this is how my makeup usually looks by hour 5 with other foundations. And usually by then my blush is completely worn off. My blush is always the first thing to wear off. And for some reason, this foundation just, like it grabbed all the powders that I put on top. So I think not powdering it was a good call, because I think if I would have powdered it, it would have grabbed the powder, but maybe the stuff on top not as well. But it grabbed like the highlight. Like I can kind of still see highlight on my nose and on my cheek. Like it grabbed the highlight, it grabbed the bronzer, it grabbed the blush. Super good. Like I just can't believe that I have this much of the powder products still on my face. Like that never happens. And I use these same blush and highlight and bronzer with every other foundation, and it usually is for sure, not usually, usually by hour 12, hopefully I'm not rambling, usually by hour 12 with all foundations, my skin is seeping through. Like I have no more blush, no more bronzer, no more highlight, no more lippy, maybe some eyeshadow. These Itsy eyeshadows are no joke, because I didn't even use primer today and they're still on. But anyways, by hour 12 for sure I look like I washed my face and like my skin is so. That's what it looks like. Right now it still looks like I have flawless skin. Like some of it is starting to come through, some of the darkness, the pigmentation. If it wasn't dark and bruised, it probably would still look super even. I got to a level of like maybe a satin finish where it's not like matte or too skin-like, it more like of a foundation natural finish, what foundations, like liquid foundations would call a natural finish, where it's not glowy but it has a little bit of something. It got to there and then that was it. Like it didn't get any more glowy or anything like that. It still looks like skin. But holy crud, I have nothing bad to say about this foundation. First impression thoughts, I love this. It's an awesome airbrush foundation. Everyone should try this. I think that just the texture would just be good with oily or dry skin. I mean, it was really good with my dry skin, even with my scabby guy. It didn't get dry on top of my scabby guy. I don't know if you are oily, if you should set this though with a powder maybe. I'm really impressed. I'm so excited because it looks so good. Let me bring you in. Let me stop rambling and bring you guys in as close as I can get you guys in here. But look at this. Like, can you see this? Like the lights aren't doing anything. The camera's not tricking you guys at all. I mean, this is my skin. It all looks really good. I'm super impressed. I gave this a big old fat thumbs up like already, like for sure. I am gonna be doing a foundation week pretty soon, now that I've pretty much gotten all my 7 foundations, I believe, where it's not starting yet. I'll let you guys know when it's gonna be, but basically I'm gonna do a series where every single day for 7 days I'm doing a new foundation review on foundations that I've done a first impressions on, because reviews actually, it gives me time to test them out with different products and really see if I'd like it. Maybe I had a first impression where I liked it and then I ended up not. Maybe I hated it and then I loved it. Like, it really goes in depth, and I'll show a demo in there as well. So if you want me to do a foundation week, give me a big old fat thumbs up. I think that's gonna be coming up pretty soon. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, if you're new, to hit the subscribe button and the bell to notify you of all my future videos. And yeah, see you guys later.